are you?
Hello, I'm fine. How's everybody?
Good.
Good, thanks. It's so nice outside.
I know we should not be on Zoom. I call the meeting to order. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Minutes approved. All right, this is going to be interesting. Vaccination status, Commander Graddon. Oh, wait a minute. Where is he?
I'm going to handle that.
Yes, sir.
Louisa.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
So I got a report from Shannon. So this is some information to report out. Vaccinations will open up for all adults 16 years of age and older starting April 15th in Washington State.
Do they have to have pre-existing conditions?
Nope. All
Oh.
adults 16 and
Okay.
over. So they're expecting long lines from what I'm hearing early on. King County vaccination information. So far, there's been 1,221,984 total doses administered in King County. So 42.3% of the population have received their first dose, and 25% of the population in King County is fully vaccinated.
All right.
South King County continues to have a high infection rates and is a focus for vaccination distribution. Some of the strategies are eligibility for in-home vaccinations to generate demands through partner referrals, identify vaccinators to increase the staffing levels to get more vaccinations out, and develop systems and capacity for appointments, reporting, tracking to ensure ongoing capacity and determine how this initial care can be built into routine care. So there is a lot of stuff that's been going on with vaccinations in King County, and we're getting there, but from what it sounds like, from listening to the news, our numbers are going up and things are tough right now. So we got to
Yeah,
keep
that's
at
all,
it.
all over the country.
Yep.
Did Shannon say why South King was higher in infection rates?
She didn't, but that's pretty consistent with, when things went down, they went down everywhere. But before things had gone down, South King County was high back then also. So I don't know why we're a high area.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions on that, or do you have more to report, Chief?
That's it for that.
Any questions?
No, just I listened to the King County Health Department yesterday. A couple things they said is Pierce County, Snohomish County, and Kittitas County are probably going to go back to phase 2.
I heard that,
And
yeah.
King County is headed that way. So, it's just a
Phase 2 or
reminder,
phase 1, Matt?
go phase 2. We're in phase
thought-
3 right now.
I thought they were going back to phase 1. Okay,
No, yeah, I heard they're
Okay.
moved back to phase 2, which limits things.
right,
That is concerning though.
absolutely. Okay, SWOT update?
Yeah, I'm taking care of that. I'm handling all of our reports. Assistant Chief Cooey is off on sick leave, and Commander Graddon, I said, go ahead and go home, Mike, I'll cover it. So it's just me today.
All right,
So
you can handle it.
Yeah, so the SWOT update. This is just kind of keeping you in the loop with where we're at. Our SWAT team, our team is one of approximately 40 teams in the state of Washington, and our Valley SWAT team is one of the busiest with the most calls throughout the entire state. We have 2 Des Moines police officers assigned to the SWAT team. And last year, our SWAT team responded to 64 calls for service.
Last year?
last year in 2020. We have about 1 to 2 SWAT calls on average in the city of Des Moines per year. And really, we want to utilize the SWAT team in those most dangerous situations to try to de-escalate using the specialized tools to prevent injuries or deadly force confrontation. So that's really our reasoning behind having the SWAT team, to make it safer for the street officers, but also safer for the community and the suspect. So our most recent example in the city of Des Moines was last year's response to a barricaded subject in an apartment on 24th near 216th. That was a SWAT call out. I don't know if you remember, I think it was on a day of a public safety emergency management meeting, and the person was there with a gun and
I think I remember that.
yeah, so I think we had at least two calls. There was that one that was initiated by our department, and then there was another one that was a homicide suspect from Kent, I believe, and they were at an apartment, I think, or at a house. I think it was off 16th also, but maybe 16th and 250th in that area. And they were safely taken into custody with the assistance of the SWAT team. So that's all I have on the SWAT team as far as an update. I can tell you they train 3 days a week. They do a lot of training, but it's a very professional team, and we're proud to be a part of it.
So do they all train together?
Yes.
Okay, so it's always training together. Awesome. Any questions? Comments? All right, let's go to Valley Independent Investigative Team.
So this issue is for objectivity and independence of critical incidents. I know we've spoken about this in the past, but this is an update. Our Valley Independent Investigative Team is made up of detectives from Kent, Federal Way, Port of Seattle, Des Moines, Renton, Tukwila, and Auburn. And they're to assist with an independent investigation. Much of this was built surrounding Initiative 940 and the legislation that came in after that. We are the busiest multi-agency team in the state with the most call outs. We have 5 members from the Des Moines Police Department on that team. Our detective sergeant, 3 detectives, and Assistant Chief Mark Cooey is assigned as one of the administrators of the team. Up until yesterday, I was the chief who represented the team in charge of the overall operations of the team. And I handed that over to Chief Eric Drever, the newly promoted police chief for the city of Tukwila. So that's something that he worked on a lot as a deputy chief, and he had a strong interest. So I offered to allow him to keep his involvement with that team as the chief in his position there. On average, we have over 8 call outs per year for the Valley Independent Team. Over the past 4 years, we've been called out an average of 8 times a year. Usually once or twice per year, the Des Moines Police Department serve as the primary investigating agency. And we are very fortunate, and I don't know how much I want to say this or not, but we have not had any reasons to call out the Valley Independent Investigative Team to the city of Des Moines in the past 3 to 4 years. So I hope I'm not jinxing us. I've tried to say that in as generic terms as possible to not jinx us, but we've been extremely fortunate.
So help me before you go forward. You're saying 3 to 4 times a year, our our detectives act as the primary investigative team members?
Once or twice a year, we are the actual primary agency
Once or
in
twice.
charge. Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to talk just briefly about community representatives.
Yes.
Councilmember Bangs is a community member representative, one of 4 that we have identified to represent our community. Should there be a shooting incident or deadly force incident by our officers in our community, the police department would have no part in that investigation. However, members of our community would be invited by the primary investigating agencies to oversee that investigation on behalf of the community to ensure that it's being done properly. So these community representatives, as we make any changes in the team, they will assist with selection of team members. And I believe it's yearly, they conduct a review of the team members and look for conflicts of interest or any issues of anything inappropriate integrity that would disqualify the investigators from being on the team. So the community members also help with reviewing press releases regarding any critical incident. Before it goes out to the community, we allow the family members and the family members of the person involved in the situation and the community members to take a look at that press release and give input. And once the case is completed, the community members help review the final case report and make it their own assessment to ensure transparency, independence, and that the right things were done. So many of these factors were based upon Initiative 940 and that legislation, and we're really pleased with our community representatives and our role in this process.
Any questions? Wow, okay. Seriously, is this a 10-minute meeting?
I got a question.
Are we going outside? Is that what's going on here?
Chief, I know it's not on the agenda, but Kathy put out an email today. Can you just share a little bit about your approach at Redondo?
Yeah, with the weather getting nice, it's spring, there's more activity. We are trying to get a jump on activity. It's common for people to call in about speeding vehicles and issues around Redondo and the Marina District. So we have put an emphasis and I have required the supervisors to report back to me on their Friday, the end of their work week, with an update on the amount of hours they've spent in these high incidence area and what enforcement actions they've taken, and then any areas, any things of note. And then I plan on putting a report out once a week to the police advisory board and to city council members on the activity from these emphasis patrols. I know the council, as a council, you get those same emails of concerns or complaints, and we want to be as responsive as possible. So I felt if we provided you with that information, that may help you as you get phone calls or inquiries from various parts of the community.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thank you. It's going to be, I don't know, it's weird weather, but anyway, it's gorgeous right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
What gets
Um,
measured gets done. And when we
Yeah.
said, I need a report with specifically what's being done, I've noticed the activity level has increased. And I'm getting some feedback from some in the community that they really appreciate the increased presence. So our residents are recognizing and noticing that. So thank you.
It's nice to have thank you every now and then, huh?
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't know. Should I call on somebody? No. I mean, we can go if we don't have anything else to discuss. If there are no more questions or concerns. And so if that's the case, I see you waving your hand.
Thank you,
Yes, Mike.
Madam
Yeah.
Chair. I just want to make the point that's fairly obvious, I'm sure to all of us, but there's a very difficult, horrendous trial going on in Minnesota at this time. And I think that if at the very least, the lesson learned from that for all of us is that when the jury comes back with whatever their decision is, the actions that actually took place are outrageous. But at the same time, it's incredibly important not to falsely make accusations that cannot be proven where there's no evidence about the attitudes or conduct of anyone. And so I think that it's especially incumbent upon us, the chief, assistant chief Cooey, to hold everyone to the highest standard of conduct, but to make sure that any judgments or assumptions or allegations that are made are based on conduct and not just based on a general sense that now's the time to call out people for things we can or cannot prove. So it's just a reminder. Thank
It's a
you,
good
Madam
point.
Chair.
Thank you, City Manager. Thank you.
And Councilmember Banks, I do have one more thing, a big note sitting on my desk to bring to your attention that I did not get to before we end the meeting. May I proceed?
Yes, please.
First, thank you, City Manager Matthias, for that. I have some really good news. Our co-responder grant program went live with a soft opening yesterday.
Oh, I was going to say,
Went
wait a
live
minute.
with a soft opening yesterday.
Awesome.
Now, when I say soft opening, what that means is they're using existing personnel from the mobile crisis team. They have just hired 2 of the members, and I believe they're going to give an offer of employment to a 3rd that are on the team. So the actual people that we hope are going to be long-term are just being hired, but we've kicked off our soft start yesterday, and we hope to, within the next week or 2, invite Representative Orwell and the other chiefs and members of King County government, Kelly Namura from King County Behavioral Health, the director, and maybe do a press conference to announce this. This is such a big deal, such a positive thing, something that can be so helpful to members of our community and really our region. We're just incredibly proud of that, and to actually have it kick off, I can't tell you how good of a feeling that was. So we're getting there. I believe I mentioned to this group, but I'm not sure. They've decided not to use our Redondo substation as the location. They're going to use their existing location that's in downtown Kent, but it's still very close. It'll serve our community well. And since they already have an established office and they're just going to grow that with our program, it made a lot of sense, and there's room down there. And I heard in a legislative update yesterday that there is a significant amount of state funding that is going to be made available to these types of programs continuing into the future. It's not a done deal yet, but we believe it's going to happen. So I wanted to provide you with, the future is bright in this area of dealing with mental health, and in a very positive, productive manner for members of our community. And it's one of those things that just really gets me feeling excited and happy about where we're headed in the future. So thank you for that.
You guys worked hard on that, and we truly appreciate it. It's exciting. We weren't sure when it was going to kick off, but you were diligent about it, and we really appreciate that, because, you know, you can't do everything. You need experts in the field where experts belong. So thank you, Chief. And City Manager Matthias, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask the chief to report on that during my committee report tonight.
Yeah, that's fine. I think one of the things that I'm working with the chief, and we will be engaging Representative Orwell, is not only is there the mechanism for referral with the officer and social worker working together, but equally, if not more importantly, where can people be referred to?
Yeah.
So we're looking and kind of exploring different sources of resources for that, so that we can, you know, kind of complete the circle relative to the availability of service, safe environments, and the information people need to move forward. So that's another piece of this. But absolutely, please,
Yeah.
please share
Yeah.
that.
That's great news. So Chief, I will ask you. It'll be towards the end of my report. So, well, thank you all very much. I guess we can go out and enjoy about 40 minutes worth of sun. So could I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
All right, all in favor, and thank you all very much. Good to see faces I haven't seen in a while. Take care.